Hi, everyone. I can't tell if you started or not. You are still muted in case you did start.
Hey, Carl.
Drew, can you hear anything?
I can hear you, but I can't hear anything else.
Yeah, I just texted Elisa about it.
Oh, okay. I heard her a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just sitting here. I'm
You
thinking.
can tell when we're muted because we still have the mute button on, just for
Right.
future reference. We were waiting for Rita, but do you want to start because it's now 10 minutes past?
Drew, very quickly, let's you and I touch base sometime separately.
Okay. Let's find some time this week if you can.
Yeah, I'm away next week. That'd be good. We don't have to have this conversation in front of the entire group, though.
Yeah, we're all
Got
being
it.
recorded.
Okay.
You are being recorded. So are
According
we.
to your schedules.
All right, good evening. We will call this meeting to order at 10 minutes after 7 o'clock, December 4th, caucus meeting of the Kingston Common Council. We will go through the items in the legislation list. There's going to be a fair number of things relating to the budget, and we also have one change to make.
Two resolutions, resolutions and change in each of the sewer fund resolutions.
Okay.
Sewer budget and the sewer rate.
All right. So 2 changes in the sewer rate. We'll have to work on that. All right. We'll start with item 178. This is a grant application. So it's simply approving the application. If we win the grant, the total amount would be $5 million for the pedestrian safety project, described by Ruth Ann Devitt at our meeting. Everybody okay with that? Any questions, issues, concerns?
No, I hope we get the grant.
Let's go.
Good shot. We're in good shape for it.
All right, resolution 179 is the transfer of $90,145 from contingency in the city clerk's budget to cover the expense of updated alarm systems and increased insurance fees. So this was an unexpected expense. So this is in fact going to be a budget hit. It's not just an internal transfer. So the financial impact is $90,145 from contingency. Any questions, concerns? Everybody okay with that then? We need to get that fixed by Shar.
Okay.
Resolution 180, transfer of $34,200 from contingency in the planning department budget to cover the expense of masonry wall repair caused by vehicle damage at the Firemen's Museum. Where's that one here?
This one's Sue Kale.
Yes.
Oh, right, Yeah, so again, this is another actual budget impact, $34,200 taking from contingency. But John, off the top of your head, after you're done with these takings from contingency, we've still got funds in there, right?
You get current number right now.
I don't remember this item. Was it one of the museum staff that caused the damage? or-
No,
they don't
know this.
Yeah.
No, apparently a truck backed into an unknown truck or vehicle, backed into the wall from the adjacent parking lot, hit the wall and then drove out.
Oh, so we don't even know.
We don't even know,
That's what I was gonna say.
because there was no insurance claim to be filed because we don't know who actually did it. There was no record of,
That was my question.
I'm glad I could answer.
There we go.
Bring it up for you prior to tonight's meeting, the balance is 440,000.
Does that count the things we're gonna take?
No.
No, okay, well, we're still way over zero. Okay, all right, good, thank you. So the amount in contingency, for those at home who are keeping score, it's over $400,000 right now. So these couple of items we're taking from contingency will still leave us a healthy amount there for other unexpected issues. All right. Good, so that's 180. Resolution 181 is transfer of $12,500 to provide funding for previously approved wastewater treatment plant headworks project. And this is coming from the sewer fund balance. $12,500 is coming from the sewer fund balance. This is a 25% match for the grant of $50,000. This is for the study of the filters at the beginning of the process plant, which removes the larger debris coming into the plant. The study is required in order to apply for construction funds from the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, which we need for the continual improvement of the facility. Everybody okay with that expenditure? Any questions? All right, good. Item 182 is authorizing the transfer of $60,479.76 in the fire department to balance accounts. This is an internal transfer, so it has zero financial impact. Everybody okay with that one?
Yes.
183 is authorizing the transfer of $1,500,000 in the New York State Empire Development Restore New York Communities funds. So this is actually a pass-through grant. So the financial impact is $0. And these funds are to support the Center for Photography at Woodstock's transformation of 25 Dederick Street into a photography museum, gallery, educational center, and place for commercial activities related to the creative economy. So basically, this is a request in favor of the center and is not will not require any funds from the city. So everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Everybody okay with art? Anybody want to speak against art?
Let's try.
We're gonna have some fight on your hands. All right, 184, authorizing the transfer of $11,936 in the Parks and Recreation Department to reconcile department funds. This is another internal movement of money, and so it has no financial impact. Everybody okay with that one?
Yes.
185 is the transfer of $75,000 in the Health and Wellness Department for a local food system plan. This is also a pass-through grant, and so no financial impact. Everybody okay with that one?
Yes.
Anybody want to speak against health and wellness?
No, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
No, definitely not speaking against anything. I just want to know, when we have a pass-through grant, is there a percentage, 5-10% that we get for the pass-through for admin or anything, or is it just a straight pass-through? The
No,
total amount,
we don't take a percentage.
we do not.
No, in this case, so this is going to Emily Flynn's department, and her salary is in fact paid for by a grant. So the vast majority of her income from the city is grant funded.
Yeah, not that one in particular, but the 1,500,000, that Empire State. So we don't receive anything for that pass-through.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Like an administrative fee.
yeah,
No, we usually have an administrator's fee if we're doing a pass-through, normally, but maybe that's a conversation to have.
That's for nonprofits usually, but this is a municipality, so I don't know the legality of.
yeah, I don't know that we.
I don't
we
either,
take an
so.
administrative fee.
Okay,
The
all
other,
right.
remember is in some of these grants, the local share can be like services. And I don't know the specifics of this one, but many times it can be her work counts towards our match of the grant, and therefore there's no money coming our way, her work's going their way to make up for the local
Right.
share.
That's right.
I know that
Right, but that's in the cases where the grant is coming to the city to
Right.
spend. This is not coming to the city.
it's just going
Okay.
through.
Right.
Grease the pig,
Okay.
as we say. Right.
Okay.
Resolution 186, this is from Business Laws and Rules.
Yeah.
This is creating an agreement about sister cities between the city of Sopirani and the city of Kingston. Michelle?
The This was a gentleman, Tim Distel, approached the mayor about creating a sister city to help organize aid, education, such.
And this is a city, well, a small city, kind of like us, in southern Ukraine on the border with Moldavia. So,
I think it was more really just to create a relationship so that school children could write to other school children and build up an awareness of the rest of the world.
And if anyone in the area wanted to help send aid, it's a way to consolidate.
We don't have to can shake or anything.
handshake, no.
You're the liaison to their meeting.
All right, so everybody's good with that one, I take it? Good, all right. 187, we're now moving to the second page for those of you who got the paper copy of the resolutions. This is repealing chapter 22, article 4, Heritage Area Commission. Was that also on there?
Yes, so this, the Heritage Area Commission is no longer needed, as it is part of our new zoning code. It's built into the planning board approval process, so it's just completely new, so we're taking it out of the code.
We still have the other historic areas commission, so it's not like we're giving up on protecting our historic areas. Are we okay with that? Reducing bureaucracy and administration where it's not needed?
And we can, I just want to also say we can still designate new heritage areas.
Good, thank you.
What's happening with the numbers, are they, do we have openings on the HLPC, do we know? I don't know who's related, who agreed as a liaison for the two.
No, I don't know anything.
We have some long time serving members of HAC.
Speaking of,
There's Rita.
Oh,
Hello, Rita.
um,
Okay. 188. Resolution 188, authorizing the mayor to enter into a microchip trenching construction agreement with Archtop Fiber. Conspiracy theorists about the COVID vaccine go to work. But in reality, this is, Michelle?
I think this came out of finance.
Yes,
This
yes,
is about the finance?
yes.
Oh, I see you had that nice event about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, you want to explain it?
So Archtop Fiber is bringing fiber optic cable, or not cable, but internet to the city of Kingston for anyone that wants to buy into it. So stringing the fiber on all the lines of the poles of the city is time consuming and expensive, so they can employ a system called micro trenching, where they dig a 12-inch trench, only 1 inch wide. They can do multiple blocks a day, and it will not cause any traffic issues. We don't have to close down streets.
And it creates both competition and it's also high speed, right?
Yes.
All right, everybody okay with that one? Any questions, comments?
So
We
this
have
was,
samples over here.
this was,
Do you all still want to discuss the issue of designating the locations? There's an open question, right, during the council's discussion about whether or not you wanted to have some further language added to the agreement. Was that an email, was that just an email that I sent afterwards, or was that, I think it was part of the open discussion as well?
I don't remember that.
On the board? Well, I personally have problems with leaving it open, looking at that contract. I have problems with just empty bullet points. And I thought maybe the council would want a little bit more say in where those locations would go instead of just empty bullet points 1 through 6. Give a little bit more guidance. That was a concern that I had shared.
And that's what you're referring to, Rachel. I remember that did come up. That the contract really didn't list any specifics.
Well, not any specifics, but as to the.
But as to the actual
Well, even if the
locations, right?
specifics can't be ironed out, it could be more specific than just like numbers 1 through 6, I believe it was.
I think you're right.
So I personally didn't like that, but if nobody else shares those concerns, then.
So one alternative is just strike those empty spaces.
But then that means we're not holding them to give us something that we should be giving. That makes our contract then weaker for our end. I would rather those open spaces, those extra empty bullet points, I would say. I don't want I want the city to get something out of this.
Is it possible, Barbara, to create some sort of a statement that just says that the locations have to be approved at a later date?
I mean, I think that's implicit in the fact that they're blank, but what I heard in the conversation was that you all wanted to have a little bit more information about that before you voted on it.
Before we sign the contract?
Well, I mean, it's the mayor, you're authorizing the mayor to do it, but to make sure that your vote has some teeth about where those locations are, or at least the fact that those locations have to be spelled out before it's signed. I don't recall from the conversation whether or not there was a specific deadline that was discussed for some necessary step. Do you remember?
No, I don't. I just remember going home, writing an email, and never getting a response from it, so.
So by location, tell me what by location, you mean by area of the city?
It's page
Do you remember the contract?
I don't remember the contract. No, I was not at the, I don't think I was at.
Oh, my, well, it'd probably be helpful to pull it up.
Okay.
If anybody, I don't have it pulled up.
It's page
What
2, section 4.
Yeah, of the, what resolution number is this?
188.
Okay. Oh, it's turned off. That's why I'm not getting-
So if you're looking at the resolution passage, it's on page 61. And then the specific spot I'm talking about is page 63.
You want us to look at?
Alyssa sent this out on Thursday.
I believe so. But you could also go to the website. It's on the website.
Guess I would type I too.
So for those of us that.
Those of us who can't see, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
So,
was, yeah, the parks.
I think we should list the facilities that we would like to have included.
Yeah, that's what I'm,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly
sure.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, I said 1 through 6, it's
Right.
actually 8 through 10.
Yep.
Rita, sorry, remember, is not looking at this, this is for additional services, it says, understanding that there are city facilities that have not yet been served by the incumbent provider and lack critical broadband connectivity, our top agrees to build fiber to the following city facilities at no cost to the city. And then it says A, B, C, D, E, F. I am uncomfortable leaving that blank.
So
Yeah, no,
are we wanting them to tell us where those locations are, or we telling them where?
I think-
I think
I
we
think-
can fill that.
We are, I,
Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit more complex than we could just say in, right now, especially if we haven't thought of it. So I don't know if there's a way to put it in the contract or in a resolution that it has to come back to us.
But has it
Before?
been discussed, has the mayor discussed it with him, because them?
I don't know, I never got.
It's
the
like
answer.
parks and buildings and.
This was discussed at finance.
Yeah.
The mayor, just pointed out this section of the contract, and he was in discussion with Archtop, but he was not at the point where he could identify the exact 6 locations that would be optimal for the city of Kingston to receive these free, internet service. Because right, Archtop is gonna run cable, to those facilities, so he wanted to work with Archtop in nailing down those 6 spots.
All right, so should I know?
And are we limited to 6? Or is that just, those are just totally placeholders?
That I don't know. I just saw the 8 through out there, so I took it to 6 spots, but
And that might be part of the negotiation because that's at no charge to the city for this installation.
right. The mayor expressed at the finance meeting, he wanted to think about the exact 6 spots that would be best served by receiving that free service.
So is he doing that in concert with the common council or is he doing that on his own?
As far as I know, he's doing it on his own, unless we,
So why not just have, if he's going to do the negotiations, he picks or chooses the spots, just have it come back before the common council to take a look at it as well.
Right, and these are spots that have not been served by the incumbent provider, so they have no service now.
Do you have any recommendations, Barbara?
I'm not sure what you all want to do, but if this resolution is giving the mayor authorization to enter into an agreement, it sounds like you, as a body, still have questions about components of that agreement. So does, unless there's some reason to proceed otherwise, sort of a time is of the essence, then why not discuss it in consult with the mayor, or at least in the committee? We can say at least 2 of the following should be recommended locations where you can come to some accord.
Right, we don't even have- I don't know which locations are presently unserved.
Right, I don't.
that's what I'm saying, I don't think we can do that right now, we're not.
No.
No, you can't do it now, but how do you get that information? Because you would want it to go to those areas.
Well, we
Well, I
asked
think
the
our
mayor
IT
for it.
would know.
Say we're not approving the contract, we might get that information.
Right, I think the estimate of which 6.
What
I
I'm
would
saying
agree
is,
with
if- sorry, it goes back to your committee, you could still, based on what you know about your wards, come up with places that you think should be considered. And you can decide whether or not the resolution says at least so many of the list that you put together, or you can discuss it with the mayor. There are different ways, it just seems like you want an answer before.
And as far as we know, time is not of the essence, right? They're not about to start digging next
I
week.
think
They will, yeah, they've been hanging.
They're ready to roll, so delaying it a month might not, so
won't make them happy.
won't make them happy, no, and right now they're not.
Do we have any sense of whether we could get information from the mayor tomorrow?
Oh, before we actually pass.
Well, he hasn't
I have-
identified those locations himself, so.
Yeah, and I did reach out to him that night of finance.
Okay.
Perhaps he didn't see the email. I mean, we don't want to jeopardize a good price on it.
We'd like to move forward because it's a good idea.
Yes,
Well, that's like my kind of compromise is to put something in the resolution. This is, I'm not thinking it all the way through, I'm just kind of throwing it out there that states those 6 areas still need to be approved by the common council. I don't know if that would be part of the resolution, I mean, that would be part of the resolution, not the contract, because this
Right.
is just a draft of the contract.
This is a draft of the contract.
So that would not, I know it's sloppy, but it wouldn't cause a time.
Right.
And it would still give us more say in that.
Or a different kind of placeholder would be, require them to extend service to all currently unserved city-owned property.
Which could potentially, which could be more than 6, which would be fine with me.
That's a tough definition. What about, I can think of some city-owned property that we really don't care about.
right.
For example, foreclosed house.
If you build it, they will come.
That's right. They will.
We could stipulate, all city-owned properties where, with municipal workers. You know, so it's clear that it's not.
I think, I don't think that, because I think that speaking to the possibility of it even going up to some parks.
That's what I was
So saying
thinking
over
also.
parks, like.
Well, how wouldn't we do something like 2 parks, 2 municipal buildings, and 2,
Yeah.
3 or 3?
But we just don't know.
We never know.
I know.
I don't think we can.
So I think putting in something like what you're saying is the best thing, is to say that, I guess a rider or something. I don't know the technical term for it, is saying that, you know, this has to be approved by the council.
But if it's constraining the mayor's authority, you're sort of giving with one hand and taking away with the other. The resolution is giving him authorization to do something, or it's not.
We're giving them authorization to enter into the contract, right? So does that mean also negotiate?
We could give
Yeah.
them, we could authorize them to negotiate it, but not execute it until we approve it.
Would that work?
I mean, work for what purpose?
I mean, this
right?
is a draft contract, right? He's not
I mean, but
ready.
with that, that's the same time restraint, so we're better off, because that would take another month
Right, another month.
to actually pass, so we're talking about the same,
Mhm.
the same time. I think we should put this off. I mean, I know they're itching to go, but you know, I think it's best for the city as a whole to make sure that we're content with this.
So we send it back to committee.
That's what I would say.
Okay.
Or is it possible that the mayor could come up with an answer by the time we meet tomorrow, in which case we could consider passing it?
Somebody want to try and take that on?
I could reach out to him again.
I mean, we can always fall back on plan B if he doesn't supply us, then,
That-
you
that
know,
we-
Well, presuming we like the 6 locations selected, that's another.
Yeah, well, I think the thing would be to detail what is the universe of possibilities, and then out of that, what are the 6 that he recommends? Because I think I would like to see the world of possibilities as well. Because, you know, if you just recommend 6, that still doesn't let us know what the other possibilities.
Let me just find this last one, is that 13th?
I think so.
And also he's consulting with department heads, right, to sort of find out where they go when they're not there.
I think
Yes,
IT
13.
Yeah, with IT, right.
20.
No, not the 13th. The 8th. It will be the 13th. Sorry, I meant to say when was the last.
Right. It was the weird one.
Which
But then I was thinking I had 2 when I said that. Yeah, every night of the month.
It's missing an entire meeting.
That's what we're doing here, considering a motion to bring it back to the committee on the 13th, unless we have an answer to our question before the council meets tomorrow.
2-step process.
Pardon?
2-step process, we either get adequate information from the mayor,
Mhm.
or we send it back to committee.
Right, and if we have adequate information, but we're not satisfied with.
We can still send it back.
We can still take it back to the committee.
We don't have to take action tonight, we're talking about action we want to take.
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Have the email, full file, and I'll do it.
Okay, then we'll leave a post on the story down there.
I did CC, you want, so I'll CC.
Okay.
Maybe give a call or something to this. The emails get missed sometimes. I miss mine sometimes, I have to say.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody clear on that one then?
We're clear that we're not.
Sorry, clear on the action we're talking about taking.
Correct.
You folks at home following? Okay, excellent, thank you.
Okay,
All right, then, resolution 189, adopting parameters for considering requests for payment in lieu of providing affordable workforce housing units. Unties. This was laws?
This was laws and ordinances. This is in relation to our new zoning code, developer wants to opt out of affordable housing, there's a set of criteria that would get scored by the council, and to whether or not it is approved.
And so this is, we already have some rules, right? This is Bartek
The scoring.
revising the scoring a little bit, making it clear what it's for and what the dynamics are.
I wasn't able to attend that meeting, but did the committee meeting members feel comfortable with this?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I liked that they had to, whomever's ward it is, the development is in, the developer has to hold meetings, and that the alderperson for that ward will get a double weighted vote.
And Bartek provided two, if not three, sample issues. Think about how it would work. Yeah, so in his letter, it says, based on discussion and feedback, would the following changes to the evaluation criteria added a minimum requirement for the community outreach section that the developer should host at least one in-person neighborhood meeting. Clarify that each committee member should complete their own scoring and that the total scores have been averaged across the common council. And provided a double weighted score for the council member representing the ward in which the proposed project is located, and provide additional guidance on how council members should score the consistency with other development and investment initiatives and availability of affordable housing categories. So clarifies those two elements.
One question.
Yes.
In the past, during the deep dive sessions, the council discussed the possibility of adjusting the point system to account for potential economic integration impact of either approving or declining the request. Do you feel that this point system addresses that issue?
Can you repeat that, Barbara? Because I'm looking at the criteria that we've got now, trying to see if it fits in.
I'll try to say it just like I did instead.
Yeah.
I will in case we session. During the deep dive sessions, council members talked about potentially adjusting the point system to align with economic, or potentially align with economic integration goals. Do you feel like the proposed approach here addresses that issue?
All right, so align with economical what?
Integration goals.
The inclusionary.
I can't remember when I have to actually get access to it. I'm not getting it to the internet. I can't see it.
So the various, I can read the plan goals,
Okay.
the basic criteria on which you judge. So one is citywide planning goals, consistency with other development and investment initiatives.
Mhm.
And then that's explained as the project supports the goals of the City of Kingston's 2025 comprehensive plan. See specially planned overview, pages 70 and 30, in chapter 2, housing and other planning and housing initiatives. So that's, in my reading, that's where the economic elements would play in. Other community benefits. The project's sponsors have committed to providing other community benefits as part of the project build-out, including but not limited to adoption of a municipal housing preference policy, local hiring commitment, or open space standards that exceed those required by the form-based code in Article 6. So local hiring commitment is also economic in nature. Community outreach, and this is the one that's been, this is one of the two that was revised. The developer has made a good faith effort to collaborate with the ward's council member and other community or neighborhood groups to receive community buy-in for the project. At minimum, this should include at least one in-person community meeting with adequate notice.
So I would say yes, I think we'll.
Okay, I think we need to go into attorney-client session.
For the members on Zoom, I'm going to send to your emails. The information to call the conference number, just give me 1 minute to do so. And we are going to enter into attorney-client session, so for those, council and staff.
We're asking you to read these on that queue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drew and Carl, if you could shut your cameras off, please.
You can just try to this is the idea. This would support this number. You can try to write that number right there, 7,418.72.
Well, and also the.
Okay, good, we're good.
So good. Survey then is okay then with 189. 190, 191 are both regarding handicap parking. So I'm assuming everyone's okay with those.
Yes.
194 is regarding adopting the following changes to the mayor's 2024 recommended budget by amending the 2024 general fund and sewer budget to incorporate approved CSEA and handbook increases. So this is another part of the city's efforts to work with our valued workers to ensure they understand how much we appreciate them. So these are some increases in wages and salaries. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
195, adopting the following changes to the mayor's 2024 recommended budget by amending the 2024 general fund and sewer budget to increase the budgeted salary for the director of IT to $111,380. If anybody has any questions of that, we would need to go into executive session. Otherwise, if everybody's okay with that.
Yes.
Okay, good. Resolution 196 is changes regarding the budget by amending the 2024 general fund to redistribute common council salaries as follows. This comes from our unwritten directive from a couple of years ago, increasing common council salaries by the cost of living increase, which this year is somewhere between 3.2 and 3.8%. And we are able to do this year because there is no minority leader. So the amount of money that would have gone to the minority leader position, we're just redistributing to cover this cost of living increase. So it's a slight change in common council member salaries, but it does not affect the budget in any way, shape, or form. Are you okay with that? Okay. 197 is another change, amending the 2024 general fund to add a consultant to the common council budget. Andrew, you want to remind us what that's about?
Sure, so this was by my request. The idea is to have a consultant who would do, I came up with tasks and the committee tasks. I just got my notes, but the whole idea is because the council is more proactive than we have been, partly because of the hybrid model, partly because people pay more attention. Since the hybrid models began, Kingston is more engaged. We have, the council, we're more engaged. I felt like we needed a little assistance. The idea with the consulting, it has to be fine tuned. So that will happen after the 14th, or starting after the 14th. But the idea, some of our needs were to satisfy some of our oversight responsibilities, to gather information on topics as in for research. So for council members to come well prepared for each of the meetings without allotting a lot of time, because it's just a lot to research every single task, and this person, we could assign some of that research work. To give us some of the same, or, assist with some of the smaller tasks, voucher signing oversight, tracking legislation. Those are some of the ideas that we came up with. So the idea is it would be a consultant, it would be an employee. We allotted, I think it's 15,000, right? Mm-hmm. And use this as kind of a pilot year to see how it goes. So I know a lot of you have already heard me talk on and on about this, but if you have any questions.
Everybody okay with it?
If this would mean, as you just said, somebody who would assist with the voucher signing so that we don't have to spend that time.
I mean, I wouldn't think that is their biggest responsibility, but
Well,
that is one of the
I think
tasks that has been talked about. I mean, I would like to see, research being one of the bigger responsibilities.
Well, then I can research what's the best practice in terms of keeping track of
yeah,
the expenditures.
and at least do research to find out whether there are any things that we need, anything in here that we need to remove.
We've talked about it, and I've talked about it to John and Barbara about the vouchers, talking about how to train this person, but I don't want, I don't think signing vouchers is worthy of hiring a consultant to do. So, I wouldn't be supportive of that being the message out there, is that we're
It's
hiring a
just general
consultant.
research, right. It's
to
the
sign
assistance,
vouchers.
right. I
It would
understand
be
that.
one of the tasks.
What if any tasks?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Well, it's all open to discussion too.
Okay.
We're gonna try various things and see what facilitates our work the best.
That sounds excellent.
The other crucial thing here is that it will be the council hiring the person. And so, as I may have mentioned before, we tried this once before, but the council was not in charge of hiring the person. And so it didn't work out in the end. Because it wasn't clear, what we were looking for and how it should work.
Okay.
Lines of authority were confused.
Do you have concerns? No?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
All right, resolution 198 is the big metaphor. This is the budget as amended with total expenditures of $55,222,122.
Say that number again?
$52,222,123. What I said,
Yeah.
75.
No, you said 55.
No, it's 98, 98 million. 52,222,123.
Perfect.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3. And room 222. All right, everybody okay with that? This is a slight increase over previous budgets, but this is after 7 budgets of no increases whatsoever. Resolution 199, recommending the approval of a total of $17,966,969 in taxes to be raised by the city's 2024 budget. This includes a tax levy of $17,949,757. And that is an increase of 1.
The increase in the amount to be raised by taxes is a 1.94% increase.
1.94% increase again, after there being no increases over the last 7 years. All right, everybody good with that one?
Can I go back to the total budget number?
Yep.
I just want to confirm with John that that includes all of the discussions we had about amendments to various.
That's the as amended number. Yep.
Perfect.
So the next two are the ones that we need to look at to slightly revise. So I'll let John talk about resolution 200.
200, I've asked just to correct that number. I had an error on the spreadsheet we're using. I'm asking to, rather than the 6 million, 155,769, to correct that number to 6,197,813. If you could break that down, someone on the floor.
Could you repeat that?
6,197,813. 6,197,813. And that incorporates all the changes that we discussed throughout the whole budgetary process.
Okay.
All right, can you make the motion?
And then, it then creates a change on resolution 201, which should be $7.13 per unit.
$7.13.
It should be $7.13 if you want to get correct on the floor.
And then what's the total increase percentage-wise in that per unit cost? You have it here.
4.53%.
4.53.
53% increase in the sewer rate. part of that's driven by where we're seeing a decrease in volume. So we take the amount that has to be raised by sewer user fees, and we divide that by the estimated volume or rolling average, and yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a decrease in usage. So not significant, but enough to drive some of that rate increase.
All right, any questions, issues there? Everybody all right with that one? Okay. Naima, there's a ghost behind you. All right. Resolution 202. In accordance with real property tax law 1901 and PRTL 1903, recommended authorization to adopt a base proportion ratio of 55.81950% homestead and 44.18050% non-homestead for the 2024 tax year. This is roughly equivalent to the previous year. Everybody okay with that? All right. Resolution 203, authorizing and adopting a bond ordinance for the city's 2024 capital plan. These are all the items that we had on the capital plan.
With the one change.
With the one change, is that, yeah, so that's included now, right?
Yeah, that we had an attachment at the finance meeting, so it should be there.
Yeah, I thought it would be helpful to explain.
So the change was, building safety wanted 2 new vehicles. And in the original capital plan, it called for 1 all-electric and 1 hybrid. And in discussing the needs the vehicles were meant to take care of, Steve Knox was saying that it would be better for them to have the 2 hybrid vehicles because those are 4-wheel drive. They go out a lot. They go out a lot in the winter, in the bad weather. So they also go out a lot. So there was a concern that the 2-wheel drive electric vehicles would not be satisfactory for dealing with weather, and that the charges on the electric vehicle would reduce the amount of its usefulness in terms of, being able to drive it all day long, long distances. So we agreed then to shift to 2 hybrid vehicles, which increased the cost by about $40,000 for those 2 vehicles.
And is it correct that those were vehicles would be SUVs as opposed to sedans? I think wasn't the electric vehicle a sedan? He also wanted the SUV because it had greater flexibility in terms of terrain.
Yes.
Okay.
4-wheel drive was the crucial thing. Yeah. All right, everybody okay with that? That's done. Okay, and then first reading of local law 7. So first reading means that it is simply going to be read. We won't be voting on it. This is local law of the Common Council, amending local law 4 of 1992. So.
This is the Waterfront Advisory Committee thinking about laws and rules.
Yeah, so there's.
It's just removing the code.
Oh, right,
Waterfront
right, what we
Advisory
just
Committee
talked about.
Was also.
Yeah.
Any reference to that term?
Right.
Yes.
And then first reading of local law 8 of 2023, amending section 39.80, immobilization and impounding of vehicles. Yeah, from.
That was also local, I mean, laws and rules, sorry, I'm looking at local laws. That's when the, they came.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
It just gives them more power in terms of dealing with the repeat offenders. Okay. Yeah, here.
All right, are we okay with that one?
Oh, yeah, it was late. It went by the VIN number.
What's
The
the code?
tickets, yeah, the
Tickets by the-
attached to the.
to
VIN
go by the
numbers.
plates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I could read it if anybody wants, but it's also, you're not voting on it tomorrow, so if you're not sure of, yeah. Do the homework before January, when you actually vote.
All right. Anything else? That's the end of the legislation list.
They, you guys have liaison. We do like the first or just dive into it.
Dive away.
Okay, so save the date for January 1st at 12 p.m. That's the inauguration.
Who's getting inaugurated?
You swearing in.
Yeah. 12 o'clock, yeah.
January first, what day is that?
At least, I think it's a Monday. Elisa, the mayor and I have been working on making it a very special occasion for everybody, so. The one thing that we need from you right now is to let either me or Elisa know how many seats you want reserved. Elisa sent out an email, but we figured we'd tag team you by verbalizing the request and having it in writing, so please let me know. Maybe by December 20th, around there would be good, so we'll want everything planned out before Christmas. Yeah, so save that 12 o'clock noon, it should be nice, so nice. December 14th is our meeting, our common council meeting that we have to have scheduled, the second meeting, and there, as soon as I hear that the mayor has not vetoed the budget, which I anticipate he will not be vetoing the budget, I will cancel that meeting.
Okay.
Just to warn, it is there, but I won't officially cancel it until I have word that he signs.
What time would that be?
Oh man, does anybody remember what I said? I don't know if it was 6:30 or 7:30. I didn't anticipate a veto, so I just threw something out. I think it's 7:30 to keep it consistent.
And this was the 14th,
14.
7:30.
Thank you. But I anticipating canceling it in the next few days.
Okay.
I did send out an email sometime today about the parking task force. We had a snafu because we can't reach two people. So to let them know that they were recommended for this or assigned to it, appointed to it. So if you could, I don't want to say their names on the public record, but it's in your emails. If anybody has a way of contacting those two people.
No.
Yeah. So we'll have to figure out if we can't figure it out, then plan B.
More.
Yeah, there are more on the list that we could choose from, but, you know, hopefully we can figure this out.
Social media. How did
Yeah.
these individuals reach out to us in the first place? They must have sent an email or something.
Well, they sent in an application, but they didn't have their contact.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so we did find where they lived and sent them snail mail. And they haven't responded to that, but we could check.
Sure, one of
Yeah, I did see one and actually a mutual friend, Drew. So Drew, you might be the one to help us with that, because I saw you were friends with one of the people when I checked. So thank you. The Ethics Advisory Committee that Charles and I are on, with two of the ethics board members, will be rolling things out to your, not for voting, but just rolling out what we've been doing fairly soon. Just want to head up on that. And then besides that, as you all know, deep into the weeds of studying, so I'm only allotting a little short time of working each day and then shutting down the email. So if you need me, and you're worried that you want to respond quickly, just send me a text, check your email, or give me, call me or whatever, because I won't be as responsive until the 14th at 1 p.m. Then I might take a nap, so let's say the 14th at 2
At
p.m.
1:15.
So thank you for your patience during this trying time in my life. That's all I have.
Yeah, also note, press release went out that the city was planting trees over the last couple of months, but also the city has money to help people purchase trees. So if you know of anybody who wants to put a tree in the median, and also I saw some talks and concern about it will just cause heat. The trees that the city approves are ones where the roots go down, not out, so it prevents the heat.
Real firestorm on Facebook.
Yeah,
Well, the tree commission spent a long time doing work on making sure that there was a list of appropriate trees. Because that wasn't considered 50 years ago when some of these trees were planted.
right, and one of the biggest complaints we get is the condition of the sidewalks, which is often caused by these particular types of trees. So, I mean, the crucial point is that there is an application available, so you can go on the city's website. So anybody who's interested, if you have folks, or if you see somebody's yard, looks like you could use a tree and they are amenable, they can apply, and the city will provide one, up to a certain total. All right,
Sounds good.
anything else? Okay, well, short of that then, Rita, Naima, this is your last.
Where's
Where's
Carl? Already finished last caucus.
Carl's already practicing.
Last caucus, you didn't miss it, huh?
This is your last caucus, so we want to say thank you for all
Last
your work.
caucus for now.
Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
solid presence.
Yeah.
And speaking of related, don't run out of the meeting at the end, because we'll do a little presentation.
You went to today?
Tomorrow.
Is it green puffs?
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Are you bringing the cream puffs?
Oh, I was expecting green
I
puffs.
can't eat green, no, I can't
What?
eat green puffs.
I'll leave yours for you, don't worry. All right. Okay, anything else then?
I miss you guys, I miss you already.
You can always come and visit us. You know where to find us.
Yeah.
Almost every
You'll see me
night.
First one that night, all the time.
See how wonderful we
You've got some powerful models to follow.
are. Thank you for sharing.
All right, so we will then consider our meeting adjourned. Have a
Oh,
good
yeah.
night. Hope you all
Oh, yeah.
feel better.
Bye, see you tomorrow.
Look forward to seeing you.
Thanks